only begotten Son. Hey.
Meet the Happy Family, a regular family that lives in the heart of town. Each and every one of them has got their own view of Christmas and how they plan to celebrate it. In this family, we've got Mr. Happy, an ambitious businessman. We also have Mrs. Happy, a loving and kind wife. We also have Simon, a young person who easily gets bored. Tokozile, an outgoing young person who pays particular attention to the trends. And finally, we have Tekla, a young girl who's looking for the next thing that will make her smile on Christmas Day. And now, let's look at how each one of them views Christmas. We're going to begin with Tekla. Tekla is a 5-year-old girl who loves to receive Christmas presents. This Christmas, Mom has bought her a ZU pad. It's one of the most loved presents she has ever got. But wait, has anyone explained to Tekla what Christmas is really about? Because no one has explained to Tekla, she thinks Christmas is all about what she gets, how much fun she will have when she goes out to play. For her, Christmas is basically a time when everyone is smiling more than the usual. And no one has fully told her the Christmas story. We also have Tokozile, an 18-year-old trendy young girl who has also got her own perspective of Christmas. Because of the media and what it says, Tokozile's perspective on Christmas is how you look. She has spent hours trying to pick an outfit that her friends will marvel at. Because no one has explained to Tokozile what Christmas is all about, Tokozile thinks Christmas is about who she impresses with her looks, how much fun she will have on that day, and how much she will spend. This is because no one has taken time to explain to her what the Christmas story is really about. And let's move over to Simon, who calls himself King Simon because he has managed to play and win each and every video game his parents have bought for him. To Simon, Christmas is all about doing something he has never done before. Since the world gives us perspective that when you are not doing what others are doing, you are missing out. Today, Simon is at home trying to text his friend KZ if he can come over so that they could play video games together. But there's a surprise for Simon. Mr. Happy has bought Simon a new HP laptop with games installed on it. Christmas for Simon is all about having fun, and he intends to have fun with his new HP laptop, playing games the whole day and the whole night. Simon has invited his friend over, KZ, and I forgot to mention, Simon and KZ are partners in crime. And KZ has brought Simon something new he can try out. Alcohol disguised as juice. And since Simon is all about trying something new, he falls into the trap. So therefore we can conclude that for Simon, Christmas is all about doing something unusual, having fun, simply because no one has told him the full Christmas story. Let's move on to Mrs. Happy. Mrs. Happy has her own perspective of Christmas as well. Today she is expecting many visitors and she plans on cooking a lot of delicious food so that she receives many praises for her exceptional cooking. She works herself tirelessly trying to figure out what she will cook and how clean her house will look. So for her, Christmas is cooking a lot of food and how many people will applaud her for her cooking and how clean her house will be. Has anyone told her the full Christmas story? And finally, Mr. Happy himself. For him, Christmas is a time to reflect how much he owns and how much he can get for himself. Today, Mr. Happy is trying to find out if they have doubled the Christmas bonus at his place of work. Since the culture has endorsed an attitude saying that the more you get, the happier you become, he plans on getting his hands on every single profit-making opportunity he can lay his hands on. So for him, Christmas is a time to get more, a time to reflect on how much property he has accumulated the whole year and how much he can spend. Does the Happy family truly understand the real meaning of Christmas? In essence, I think if Christmas is all about you fulfilling what you want, then it kicks out the real meaning. I think if the Happy family is to find true happiness, they must read the Christmas story to understand that Christmas is not a self-centered but a Christ-centered celebration. And therefore, let us tell you what the true Christmas story is all about.
In the beginning, God creates the heavens and the earth in 6 days. He makes Adam and Eve, who spend their days with God until they give in to temptation by eating from a forbidden tree. Sin enters the world, and things get so bad that God floods the earth and starts over with Noah and his family. Years later, God calls Abraham to follow him with the promise to make Abraham the father of a great nation. Abraham obeys, and God gives him a son, Isaac. Isaac's son Jacob has 12 sons. Joseph, Jacob's favorite, becomes second in command of Egypt. God uses him to save his entire family and Egypt from starvation. Hundreds of years later, the Israelites are slaves in Egypt. Moses is called to lead the Israelites out of slavery. Joshua takes over after Moses and leads the people into the promised land. After Joshua, God raises up judges, temporary military leaders like Deborah, Gideon, and Samson, who protect and fight for God's people. The people tire of this leadership, and they call for a king. God gives Israel King Saul, King David, and then King Solomon. But it's all downhill from here. The people rebel, the kingdom of Israel is divided, and everyone turns their back on God. Prophets like Elijah, Isaiah, Micah, and Jeremiah warn that if people don't repent of their sins, there will be consequences. But the people ignore their warnings. The divided kingdoms are conquered, and God's people face captivity in foreign lands. People like Daniel show great courage and stand up for God when no one else does. Some of the exiled people return to the promised land, but for 400 years, God is silent. No prophets, no miracles, and no angel visitations. But then, the silence is broken when Jesus is born. He lives a perfect life, teaches truth, and performs miracles, proving He is God. He shows us the full extent of God's love by taking our place and dying on the cross for our sin. He is placed in the grave, but 3 days later, Jesus rises again, conquering sin and death. His followers travel the world, sharing the good news of His love and starting churches. We now are part of this story, and we have the chance to change the world and share His love, because one day He will crack open the sky and He will return. It's the greatest story ever told.